nostalgic PodBlast will start momentarily.
Hey, this is Rodney. You're listening to Nostalgic PodBlast. And I don't know why. What the hell's wrong with you?
Nostalgic PodBlast will start momentarily. It's the Nostalgic PodBlast, and you're doing something somewhere, I hope. Damn you, hairy apes. The show is about to start.
Hey now.
Thank you very much and good evening. I'm Johnny Carson. Now, the reason I say that each week is because my kids love to stay up and watch television. So every Thursday night, my wife turns on the set. I come out, I say, hello, I'm Johnny Carson. My kids say, it's only Daddy, let's go to bed. Night, kids.
Here's Johnny!
Because you thought I was
An ass.
From New York, the greatest city in the world, it's The Late Show with David Letterman. Tonight, stupid human tricks.
I'll get down in it. Go ahead. Watch your head.
If I ran into Jay tomorrow, you know, I have no idea what the conversation would be.
From Universal Studios in Hollywood, it's The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien.
Because of the big stink that we created when we left NBC
We left it big.
years and years ago, they said, okay, well, that'll never happen again.
Right.
So,
Well, that's why Jay says he was going to retire 5 years ago just to avoid that.
that's right. They wanted to avoid another transitional brouhaha. If I can invoke a little French.
Please do. Anytime.
This very network, NBC, is in the news tonight after the official word today of a changing of the guard at The Tonight Show. Jay Leno will pass the storied baton to Jimmy Fallon next spring as the show returns home to New York after 40 years on the West Coast.
It's The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
And I'm really excited for Jimmy Fallon. You know, it's fun to kind of be the old guy and sit back here and see where the next generation takes this great institution, and it really is. It's been a great institution for 60 years. I'm so glad I got to be a part of it.
From 30 Rockefeller Plaza here in New York City, it's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.
Who the hell does Jimmy Fallon think he is? Getting involved in our arguments.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, he did. He brought it up. And I had to hear
where?
about it. On his show.
And now, here's the PodBlast.
Yay!
Finally, my mic isn't on.
It is. It is. You gotta talk in the mic.
I'm talking. I don't hear myself.
Well, that's why I asked you earlier. Did you hear yourself in the headsets? All right, so that's great. That was the night show.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I like your reverb.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. You're still reverbing.
I can't hear anything on my headphones.
Okay, that's because you're unplugged, probably.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked you guys earlier. Could you hear yourself?
There it is. Look at that.
Chance unplugged you. That's why.
What?
And,
It's Chance's fault.
It's Chance's fault. Of course it is.
I used when you told me, you said input.
There we go. There we go. Now I can hear everything.
Now he can hear himself talking.
Now you can unplug Chance's if you. I'm just.
All right, Chance, you're dead.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to fistfulofradio.com. Welcome people on Facebook and YouTube and wherever you watch our show or listen to our show. We're happy you're here.
Yeah, we're absolutely fabulously, wonderfully happy that you're here with us today. Aren't we, Al?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And we're talking today about talk show hosts.
Talk show hosts.
TV talk show hosts.
Late night and daytime talk shows.
Yeah.
All talk shows of television land throughout all time.
There's so many to choose from. I mean, there's no way. Again, there's no way we can cover them all.
You have a favorite?
A
favorite.
A later one is I agree with you. I like Craig Ferguson. We talked about that earlier.
Craig Ferguson was good.
Yeah.
He should have taken over the CBS slot after Letterman left.
Yeah. He
instead
should.
of Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, I agree with you totally about that.
But another favorite talk show host that I always liked was Tom Snyder.
Tom Snyder was amazing.
I love watching
as well.
that show. I'd stay up at night just to watch it.
Yeah, Snyder was good. I liked his banter. He was.
Well, he had a conversation with people. He actually cared.
Yeah, he was a well-read man.
He was.
And
it was a simple set too. He just had
really
the
was.
chair and the black background and maybe a flower or two there.
Yeah.
Fire up a color teeny. What is a color teeny?
Watch the pictures as they fly through the air.
Yeah, what is a color teeny?
I don't know.
He's talking about the process of how television's transmitted.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
that must be it.
It is it. He said so in an interview. Anyway, we got lots of great clips, video and audio. Tom's worked really hard this week to bring this to you.
Thank you. We should go back to probably the first talk show, the first TV talk show was The Tonight Show. But do you remember who was the host?
Steve Allen?
Well, I asked Al. Pretend you didn't say that. Al, do you know who the first host was?
There you go. You didn't say Al. You just threw out that question.
But I was looking at Al. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can I smack him now? No, it was Steve Allen.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to a little bit of.
They had other.
It did.
Jack Parr
Jack
came
Parr.
along.
Jack Parr was amazing.
I liked him a lot.
He was very.
Besides Carson, I like Jack Parr.
Yeah, Jack Parr was very good. And that's one of the people I forgot to pull a clip from. But But he was very good. But I got Steve Allen. Let's listen to a little bit of let's just do this, okay? Here we go.
Well, I guess he was just looking at the show from time to time. I don't think for the first few months we were on there he even knew we were. It was not his business to check local stations. He was a network thinker and doer, and a very good one, too. But as it happened, he already had a big hit with the Today Show, which is still successful in the morning, of course. So inevitably, he or some member of the programming department would have thought, oh, how about a late show called The Tonight Show? It's just the opposite end of the calendar, the clock. So I don't think he had anything more than a title in mind, and eventually, I'll never know until he writes his memoirs what other possibilities might have occurred to him, but none of them ever saw the light of day because he just called us up one day, spoke to our producer, Bill Harback, said, I like that show that you guys are doing, and how would you all feel if we put it on the networks? And naturally, we were all overjoyed. And the only practical change that was made, the only important change, was it was no longer called The Steve Allen Show. Then we had to go with the title Tonight, and I was willing to do that. In fact, years later, the full title would be The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. End of title. I never thought of that, or didn't really give much of a damn if I had. Everybody knew who I was, and they knew it was with Johnny Carson or Donald Duck or Steve Allen or whoever was the host. But it was called Tonight. And only later did the phrase The Tonight Show come to pass.
Just off the crossroads of the world, Times Square is NBC's Hudson Theater. That's where we're taking you now, tonight and every night. Now to meet the star of our show, Steve Allen.
Boy, have we been making last-minute changes around here. That's something which I am very well aware. Well, sir, we're pretty weird. I'm very well aware that isn't at all amusing in Omaha or Chicago, but it's breaking us up around here. We've had the best engineering and production brains east of the Mississippi working on a clever opening for this program for about the last 3 months, ever since we planned to go on. We were going to have the Empire State Building and move it, and the city, we had Mayor Wagner at our beck and call. They were going to give us, the East River was going to flow the other way, and all sorts of very exciting things. And about 20 seconds ago, a fella ran in and says, the Cadillac remote unit had a flat tire, and, you know.
All right, so that was Steve Allen talking about.
I don't remember.
I don't
watching
either.
The show with Steve Allen.
I don't either.
You know, I just don't. It's
because
funny.
it was in the mid 50s.
I couldn't stay up that late. I had to go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and Chance wasn't even born.
No.
He wasn't even an afterthought.
Floating around the cosmos.
There you go, floating around the cosmos. But the most person that they liked the best was Carson. Johnny Carson, I think, was the quintessential host.
Carson is the one that I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I used to love to watch Johnny Carson at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Sorry, didn't have the mics up very loud.
Well, I was working in television in the 60s. Well, I started working in television in 1967. I worked 67, 68, 69. Anyway, I was a switcher at night, you know, like a
master control operator.
Right, that's what I was. Yeah. And so we were an NBC affiliate, and so at 11:30 we went to Johnny Carson, but they had the NBC Peacock. And I just ended up watching Johnny Carson, and originally he was 90 minutes. It was a 90 minute
that's
show.
Correct. That is correct.
And then he wanted like Fridays off, and it went to an hour.
Yeah.
But
didn't it go back to 90? Did it go back to? Did it ever go back to 90?
You know, because Tom Snyder came on.
All right.
You know, the Tomorrow Show came on right after the Tonight Show, and I stayed up and watched the Tomorrow Show.
Tonight Show stopped being 90 minutes in 1979.
Yeah, for some reason,
it went to 60-minute format.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it went back to 90.
It did not.
I'm crazy.
Carson didn't want to. You know, plus he only worked 4 nights a week.
Plus, if you think about all the commercials, he really only worked about 40 minutes, 40, give or take. You know, with the commercials.
You mean in 60 minutes it would be 45
minutes?
About
40, 45 minutes, somewhere around there, with all the commercials.
But what I liked about Carson, I used to love to watch Carson when they do their live commercials.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Ed McMahon would do it for Budweiser beer. He would do it for Alpo dog food.
Which was great. Which was great.
It was just a great show.
And the clip I should have pulled, which I'm sorry, folks, if I say that a lot, there's so much to choose from, was the clip that Al talked about one time with when the dog didn't show up or something was wrong with
And
the
so
dog.
Carson goes there on all four and starts like licking at the bowl.
Yeah.
It's funny, yeah, but it's a great show. Can I say something about Ed McMahon? I had a chance to meet him one time when I lived in North Carolina. He was a guest at the Azalea Festival they have every April.
Right.
And so he stayed down at Wrightsville Beach, where I spent most of my time. And he stayed in a hotel on the beach. And actually, I went to visit a friend of mine who lived nearby. Anyway, actually, it was like a condominium. Anyway, I got on the elevator, and guess who was on the elevator? Ed McMahon. And I said, and it was just a coincidence. And he wasn't very friendly.
Really?
No, I mean, he didn't act like he wanted to talk. I mean, he was very nice, I guess, but I don't know. He didn't have a whole lot to say.
I met him at when I worked at MSNBC around 2004 or 5-ish, somewhere around there. I met him. He was going to be a guest on the show. And I walked up behind him. He was sitting down. He was sitting out by the desk. And I walked up behind him and I said, Mr. McMahon. And he stood up, shook my hand. He was very cordial.
Yeah.
He wasn't overly talkative, no, but he was very cordial. And I kept it extremely brief with him. But I found him to be a very nice man. Now, I understand what you're saying, because I've had that experience with Steve Martin, and people, there's other people who are going, my gosh, it would have taken you 10 seconds to be nice to a fan.
It depends on the day they were having. Sometimes you're in a great mood, sometimes you're not. But he wasn't rude or anything. He just wasn't overly friendly.
He wasn't overly friendly. Now, the one thing Carson did, which is what I wish that the today's late show talk shows is what I'm talking. The talk show host would do is the reason you're not going to hear any Kimmel clips. And you're not going to hear any Steve Colbert clips, because all they do
is
political, and they bash the president and blah blah blah. Like him or not, it doesn't matter.
Well, Carson,
but when you do your whole
jokes, but they were funny.
But when
it should be balanced.
But when you do your whole monologue, bashing whoever the current president is, or Pelosi, or whoever it is. Come on, I don't want to hear that. I'm there to be entertained. I'm not to hear what your opinion is.
I never liked Stephen Colbert. I didn't like the Daily Show, or the Comedy Show.
I don't know. It's the Late Show.
I didn't like him on that. They should have. Craig Ferguson was the right choice for that job after Letterman.
Well, let's listen to a Carson. Here's what Carson thought about that, and why he. Well, let's let him explain it.
You have people from both sides who watch television.
Yeah.
Why alienate somebody?
Exactly, and that's what Kimmel is. I won't even watch Kimmel. I'm going, okay, the first half of your show is nothing but bashing.
And he doesn't have a halo over his head either.
No, of course not. And it's okay. If you don't like the president, okay, fine. I don't care. But don't make your whole monologue about it. That's all I'm saying, right? So here's what Carson had to say about all that kind of woo-ha-ha.
You get sensitive about the fact that people say he'll never take a serious controversy.
Well, I have an answer to that. I said, now, tell me the last time that Jack Benny, Red Skelton, Benny comedian, used his show to do serious issues. That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? But you're not. Why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? That's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to get that self-important feeling that what you say has great import. And strangely enough, you could use that show as a forum. You could sway people, and I don't think you should as an entertainer.
Are you reluctant in putting together your monologue to go hard on a guy?
Only when I sense the mood is, and which you can do from an audience. And I'll give you a perfect illustration. When Wilbur Mills had his problem with the famous Fanny Fox and the tidal basin and so forth, it was amusing to most people, and you could do jokes about it. I stopped doing jokes immediately as soon as people found out that he was an alcoholic and had emotional problems, and in fact was dependent on alcohol. Then I think that would be a cheap shot to take, and to still do jokes about it.
So there you go. I mean, Carson, class act. I mean, as far as, granted, he had his moments, and people said he was a jerk and blah, blah, blah. Hey, everybody's a jerk. I'm a jerk, you're a jerk.
I don't care what he did in his personal life. I liked his show.
Yeah.
And he drove himself to work every day.
True.
He wasn't chauffeured to work. Now, Ed McMahon was chauffeured. He didn't drive.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Carson always drove himself to work.
Well, Don Imus they always had a black Lincoln limousine bring him to to the network and take him away every
Well,
day.
that's fine. I
So,
mean,
you know,
if they want to do that,
that's great.
Howard Stern's that way.
Yeah,
He has a. But that's fine if you don't drive. But Carson, that's what he was. He was one of us.
Yes.
Even though he was on television, he was just a regular guy
Yeah.
who happened to be on TV.
Hey, everybody, give us a call. Tell us who your favorite talk show host or person is. Moderator 678-570-0970. That's only if you're listening live on Facebook. If you hear this on iTunes or Spotify or anything
Or
else,
fistfulofradio.com.
or fistfulofradio.com, then don't call because no one will answer. So give us a quick ring. But Carson had his funny moments too. Now, did you remember Burt Reynolds being on Carson?
Oh, many times.
Oh, yeah. I remember from watching reruns on Antenna
Wasn't
TV.
there was a thing where he cut his tie. He had some parasites.
Well,
cut his tie.
Burt. All right, if you listen to what I'm getting ready to play, Burt says he cuts his tie, but he didn't really cut his tie. I think Burt had a little memory loss there. But you watch the show, the actual show.
I watched this live. I remember when it happened.
I did too. I've got it right here. It's live. It's live on the nostalgic PodBlast. So here it is, and here's Burt talking about it. Here it is. Let's listen to this.
Carson had certain rules, and when I got asked to do his show, I sat down with Freddie DeCordova and everybody, and they said, "Look, Johnny, these are just certain things Johnny just doesn't allow." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, he doesn't like to be touched a lot." I said, "All right." And they said, "And don't take his pencil away from him." I went, "Okay." And they said, "And don't, mess up his hair and don't screw around with him physically too much." Okay. I said, "All right, sure." And I said, "Anything else?" He said, "No, he loves a good joke, good story, and he'll stay with you because he's already seen you on other talk shows, and he knows you. There's gold there if he stays with you, and you guys are going to get along good. He's really looking forward to it." I said, "Okay." So I went to the prop man. I said, "I want some scissors and some whipped cream." And he said, "What?" "And I want some of that spray, shaving lotion or something." This guy gives it to me and he says, "What's this for?" And I said, "Mr. Carson wants me to do something with it." Well, I came out, I shook hands with Johnny, and I had on, I'm embarrassed to say, but I had on these leather pants. And he put it all on my legs like that. And then right here he went, and I was standing like that, and it was just, the censors couldn't do anything because, there it was, and I was looking at that, and I was looking at him, and the stuff on my pants, I went like that, and I thought, well, that's it for these pants, but it's going to be worth it. And like that. Well, they weren't leather, they were menaldehyde or something, so it didn't hurt him. But I didn't know what to do with this other thing, so I just sort of swatted it. And then I grabbed the thing. Now, this is the genius of Carson. This is his real, what's amazing, is I pulled his pants wide like that, and I just went like that inside. And as I was going away, he grabbed my hand and went back. Well, that's a genius.
So there you go.
Back then, Burt Reynolds was the #1 box office.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And he had a bevy of girlfriends. He had Lonnie Anderson. He married. It was a bad marriage, from what I understand. And he also had Sally Field.
Before that, he married Judy Carn, who went on to do Laugh-In.
There you go. Now, interesting. You get ready to make a point?
When you're done, I'm going to talk about the origin of the Tonight Show.
So this is kind of funny. I don't know if you even know this. Sally Field went on the show shortly after that, and sure enough, she brought some shaving lotion with her too.
I remember that.
I didn't remember.
Do you have a clip of that?
I've got a clip of that.
Let's see that.
And here's the funny part. It's not as funny as Burt's, but Carson is not expecting it. And here's what that went like. He looks.
Now, like for instance, if I went... I mean, I'm short, I'm cute, and I'm all of that. I could come over here and I could.
What is going on with it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I could do that, you know, and I mean, there's no way.
It's very busy there. It's very busy. Yeah, now Carson's going to come around. He's got the can, and she's not expecting it. And he's not expecting it. And she's not expecting it. Well, yes, she kind of is.
She knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. But what you don't see, because I clipped it in the video, we kind of put it down in front of her blouse.
Oh, you knew that was coming.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so he hits her in the head. So. Anyway, just to let you know, that's kind of what that clip.
You know, we talk about Carson, but yeah, you know, I guess it was probably one of the best late night talk shows ever for the Tonight Show as a host. But
I'm a huge David Letterman fan. We'll get to him later. I watched that show religiously. I saw almost every episode. I recorded on my VCR because I was in school those days. But staying on topic with the Tonight Show, check this out from my trusty book. After Jack Parr's departure from the series in March 1962, the Tonight Show aired with a succession of substitute hosts while awaiting the arrival of Johnny Carson, who had to wait out his ABC contract. Hosts during this period were Art Linkletter, Joey...
Art Linkletter.
Well, Skitch Henderson hosted.
Let me finish, sir. Joey Bishop, Bob Cummings,
Wow.
Merv Griffin,
Really?
Jack Carter. I love Jack Carter.
Yeah,
You
he
like
was
Jack
funny.
Carter?
Yeah, he was a good comedian.
Let's see. Jan Murray, Peter Lind Hayes,
Wow.
and Mary Healy, Soupy Sales,
Man, you Soupy Sales did it.
Mort Saul, who I've never heard of,
Yeah.
Steve Lawrence, Jerry Lewis, Jimmy Dean, Arlene Francis, almost done, Jack E. Leonard, Hugh Downs,
he was
Groucho Marx,
Really?
and Hal March, and Donald O'Connor,
Wow.
the dancer. The
That's
format
pretty
was
impressive.
unchanged, yes.
That's pretty impressive.
And then the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson started October 2nd, 1962.
Wow. That's
I'm sorry, Al. Continue with what you were saying.
That's pretty
No,
impressive.
you know, like the Tonight Show is probably everybody's favorite, you know.
Well-
but, you know, we'll get to everybody, but you know what? The fans voted the number one. This is kind of current, though. The number one tonight talk show?
I don't know.
The number one?
Who?
Conan.
Conan O'Brien.
Team Coco.
And Conan was cheated out of the Tonight Show, I think. I think
Yeah,
that, you know,
yeah,
because
he kinda was.
Because he hosted the show afterwards.
Yeah.
And after Carson, and he came in and, you know, did a great job, but for some reason, they wanted Jay Leno.
Yeah.
And Jay Leno, I like Jay Leno. You know?
I liked him too. I like Leno, okay, but I like Conan. He did a different kind of humor, and I thought.
Wait a minute, back up. I think you mean Jimmy Fallon.
No,
you said
no,
Jay Leno. Wait,
no, Conan.
Wait, Conan.
Conan was before Leno.
Conan was before Leno.
Leno took over from Johnny Carson.
Well, I'm sorry. I
What
apologize.
the hell's going on here? Okay.
No, we've seen if you were paying attention, and you were. Leno took over, but
In 1992.
right. But he was only supposed to stay for like 5 years, and then he kind of didn't want to go. But NBC
He
said,
took off. He was beating David Letterman in the
Yeah,
ratings, but we're
yeah.
getting way ahead of ourselves. But we're still talking about the Tonight Show here.
Yeah.
But yes, Jay Leno took over from Johnny Carson. Should have been David Letterman.
Well,
that was a big controversy. That's why he left NBC and went
Correct.
to CBS
Correct.
in 1994 and started the Late Late Show.
I don't understand why, you know, executive, what's in their mindset. I mean, I would have given it to Letterman.
I do understand why, because he would knock the GE executives. The General Electric
it was funny.
owned NBC. It was
Yeah,
funny.
it was very
But
funny.
Suits don't have a sense of humor.
That's
they have
true.
egos.
That's true, they don't.
Inflated egos. And when you poke the bear, sometimes you get bit, and Letterman got bit
Yeah.
because he chose to poke fun at the Suits.
let's watch some of the best of Carson, then we'll go elsewhere. But these are some of the better Carlson. Listen to me. Clips that you'll find out there. They're very, very good. Very, very good.
You're Joanne who?
Caroline Drayson.
Caroline Trayson. You're two different girls?
Yes.
Say the secret word and Groucho will come to your house.
I've got to see a doctor because there's something wrong with me. What can it be?
Charlie, I want to say something. I'm very glad to be here. You know, when you come on last, did you ever get the feeling that the world was a tuxedo and you were a pair of brown shoes?
Dippity-doo.
Dippity-doo.
What forms on your dippity early in the morning? You see, if you look an animal right in the face and talk to them, then they know you're not scared. You're governor now of Arkansas till 1991?
That's right.
Yeah. Where are you looking beyond that, politically, or are you?
Depends on how I do on the show tonight.
See this? That's a quarter, right? Now, if I take it and hold it, and I give it to you, would you hold it for me? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Now, watch very carefully. Okay, here it is. And you hold it. It's right over here, in your ear. You ready?
Make that really disappear.
What? How do I make it? You get married.
Maybe I should have saved those leftover dreams.
Funny, but here's that rainy day. Where is that worn out wish that I threw aside after it brought my love so near? Funny how love becomes a cold rainy day. Funny that rainy day is here. It has been an honor and a privilege to come into your homes all these years and entertain you. I bid you a very heartfelt good night.
I remember seeing that live when I aired
Yeah,
this last show.
I do too.
She's a witch, though.
I think
We're not
she played
talking
one. She
politics.
played one in the movies. Yeah, she's not my favorite either, but still,
She's so obnoxious. I saw her on set. She was so rude to the extras and stuff.
Well, I mean,
Unlike Billy Crystal. Billy
yeah.
Crystal
You don't
was
have
nice.
to like her, but
it was a
she's a-
movie they both were on.
I
sorry.
think she's a great singer.
Yeah, she is.
You know,
She's,
and
she's like that Barbra Streisand,
you know,
talented but annoying as shit.
But I
don't say the S word.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway,
But anyway, I like Bette Midler. She can sing great. you
Yes,
know.
she
You
can.
know,
Yes,
I
she
don't
can.
care for her politics so much, but I like her
well,
voice.
yeah, I
She
don't
can
care about
sing,
anybody
but,
else's
you know,
politics.
hey, you know,
anymore.
everybody's got
Right, we just want to be entertained.
Everybody's
Yeah.
got a right to their
Yeah.
choice. I don't care about that.
That's true.
I really
That's
don't,
very true.
isn't it?
Very true. No truer words have ever been spoken. Now, the thing about Carson was, once he left the Tonight Show, you didn't see him anymore.
Well,
but
no,
yet you did.
Well, he was a recluse always.
But yet you did.
And you know what? What a shame. If you mention this, forgive me. I know we've mentioned this in previous PodBlast. How sad is it that the first 10 years of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson were erased?
Yeah, I know.
Because NBC wanted to reuse the videotape.
That was true with any network.
Yeah.
They didn't save tapes.
Yeah.
you
That
know.
doesn't matter, sir.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
know.
crime.
Well,
all that was lost.
But they didn't think that stuff back then.
That's
They
right.
really didn't.
Yeah, it's a friggin' shame. They
Well,
did.
now everything is saved. You know,
Well, that's
but-
where kinescopes came in and saved a lot of the shows. A lot of the early
Explain what
Carson
kinescopes
stuff.
are again.
Well, that's where they take basically in layman's terms, they take not a video camera, excuse me, a motion picture camera,
Make a film
and shoot a monitor.
And shoot a video
Shoot a
monitor
TV
while it's
monitor
live.
while it's live.
And they did that because they wanted to transmit it coast to coast.
Coast to
Back
coast,
in the
yeah.
day, that's how they would send
Correct.
live shows.
Correct.
3 hours later
And
to
th-
another coast.
And then videotape came out, and then
Quarter inch.
Well, yeah, that was much later, but the big 2-inch reels, which weighed a ton, and they cost a lot of money, and that's why they recycled them, as they say. Just like there was a kids show that I used to watch, Bungles the Clown, but he also played Ronald the Ghoul, the Shock Theater. Nothing exists of him because they use the same work reel, excuse me, every week, so nothing got saved.
Well, you know, another late night talk show that I liked to watch was Dick Cavett. I
Cavett-
thought he was a great conversationalist.
Yes, he
A lot
was.
of people didn't care for his style, but I liked it.
Yeah, Cavett was good.
He had great guests on. He had great conversation. It was just very entertaining. And I never will forget seeing the show when he had John Lennon and Yoko Ono on.
Yeah,
And that was really a watch show.
Even though I really don't care about Lennon and his political.
Well, that has nothing to do
Dick
with his
Cavett
music.
But that's what he was
Dick
talking
Cavett-
about on the show.
Dick Cavett was a great interviewer, and the Decades Network airs the Dick Cavett Show.
Yes.
To this day, they play the reruns.
And he got his start. He was a writer for Carson.
Yeah.
You know, he
Wasn't
wrote-
Turner
Was
Classic
he?
Movies running Dick Cavett there for a while? Or am I mistaken? It seemed like they were running Dick Cavett there for a little while.
On the Decades channel.
No, but they were also running it on TCM before Decades got it. Yeah, that's what I remember.
I don't remember.
In our tribute to Elvis, what was that talk show where Elvis is on the phone with the guy? That was a cool
High
old
Gardner.
talk.
High Gardner.
We spoke on that in our Elvis tribute, but talk about that. That was weird.
He would call the stars or the newsmakers of the day on the phone, and there would be basically a live remote, because they had live remote trucks
sitting
back
there
then.
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
But it was a split screen, right?
Yeah,
you
it was.
see both gentlemen
Yeah.
on camera on the phone.
Yeah.
That was just a
Yeah, it was
unique show.
crazy.
I'd never heard of it until you brought it up
it's
in our
crazy.
Elvis special.
Because back then the production switchers, as we call them, were very basic. If you wanted to do that kind of a split wide, you had to take the fader and just go halfway and split between the two screens. And the camera guy had to frame it accordingly. Like, okay, High Gardner's going to be on the right, Elvis is going to be on the left. You know, there was no DVE that I can move this source.
Right.
You know, so you got to, back then it was very primitive, but at the same time, if you watch the first Today Show with Dave Garroway, which I should have pulled a clip of that, it's pretty innovative what NBC did with that show. He walked around the set, the newsroom, with a microphone, on his front, and it was very bizarre looking, but it worked. And they had camera stationed all over the place, and they would cut to different cameras. It was very well done. Very well done to be as primitive as it was. And so was the Playhouse 60 and all these other live dramatic shows back then. They had to rehearse the heck out of them, or else you'd have a bad camera shot or bad focus or whatever.
I really don't care to talk about Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy
Well, we already
Kimmel.
talked about that, because
they're just, to me, they're not.
We're not even there yet.
interesting.
We'll get to that.
They're too political.
I agree.
They're too political.
But Johnny Carson, he made so much money too.
Well, yeah.
Millions and millions
Of
and
course.
millions and millions of dollars. And unfortunately, he was a chain smoker, and he died of emphysema.
Yeah. He died a very bad death, unfortunately.
But there were a lot of good daytime talk shows that I liked to watch.
But
I liked Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
I liked Mike Douglas.
Merv Griffin had
a daytime talk show.
Now, see, Merv tried to go up against Carson. It didn't work.
No.
So
Joan Rivers tried to go against Carson.
And that's what I was going to bring up next, yes. She was his guest host, as was David Letterman. That's why when I talked before about how Letterman deserved to take over The Tonight Show from Johnny Carson, it's because he was the guest host before Joan Rivers.
I liked her. She was great on The Tonight Show.
But she stabbed him in the back. She signed a contract with Fox, and her show was the first show on the new Fox network.
I can understand her doing that because they offered her a lot of money and her own show. I mean, who would turn that down?
Well, but loyalty means a lot. And Johnny Carson never forgave her. And that's her big regret.
Well,
Allegedly.
I mean, Johnny Carson was good, but Johnny Carson could be a jerk, too. I mean, there was no reason why he couldn't talk to her after. She just wanted to better herself.
That's true.
She wasn't doing it despite Carson.
But now her husband's the ones allegedly that signed the deal, Edgar, who wound up committing suicide.
But she knew about it. But here's the thing, Carson shouldn't have been so narrow-minded to where he. And who knows? He may have approached her. That's what the news media wants you to believe, that they never talked again.
Could be.
They might have.
No, I don't know.
They might have.
I don't know if they ever talked again. I believe they did not talk again.
She made the choice what she thought was the right for her. I mean,
and her show tanked.
Well,
she beat him initially in a few markets.
That's the price you take.
A few major markets, but Carson, of course, won in the end.
She was on Fox, and Fox was fairly new back then.
Yep.
And you couldn't compete with NBC and ABC and CBS so much. So Fox was the new kid.
Wait, I got a point to make. Did you guys? There's a little commercial here in the middle. Did you guys know that Milk's favorite cookie is addictive as crack? According to a Connecticut College study, Oreos activate the same pleasure receptors in the brain as highly addictive drugs, like cocaine and morphine. I did not know that. Oreo was also a knockoff of the Hydrox. It has nothing to do.
I don't eat Oreos.
God bless Johnny Carson. He passed away January 23rd.
I agree. Go ahead, caller. Who's calling? Go ahead, caller.
You got on speaker?
Yeah. It's there. I don't hear him. Oh, well.
I don't hear a thing.
Let me see why I can't hear. Oh, that's why I can't hear him. Okay. Now
Sorry, caller.
Go
You're
ahead,
on
caller.
the air.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, this is Michael Hopkins, and I was calling in about Joan Rivers.
Go ahead, Mike.
A lot of people are under the impression that she was fired from Fox, and I've seen a lot of interviews, and apparently the backstory is that they didn't want Edgar on set any longer, and they went to her and they said, "Your ratings are great, but we don't want to deal with him any longer. You've got to tell him we don't want him coming on the lot anymore."
Wow.
And she refused to do that, and that's how she got pushed out. And ironically, she ended up separating from him, and
then he committed suicide.
Then he committed suicide.
Yeah, isn't that sad?
He shot himself, didn't he, Michael?
So he took pills.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's sad.
Overdose.
Well, I like Joan Rivers. I enjoyed her show. She was funny.
He tried to Colonel Tom Parker Fox, I guess.
Yeah.
Joan was devastated though when he committed suicide.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, would anybody be?
Yeah, I mean, but she really took it hard.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like Joan Rivers. I thought she was just funny. I loved her monologues.
So did
She
I.
was great.
Can we talk?
Did you watch a lot of the Joan Rivers show, Michael?
I watched just every time that she guest hosted, I made sure that I didn't miss watching her guest host. I always enjoyed her.
Yeah.
Well, she's very talented. To me today, I don't think they have many talented talk show hosts, in my opinion. It's just like, Oprah Winfrey was so popular for so long. I mean, I liked her okay, but then I just got kind of tired of her too.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, Joan Rivers, I have one episode on tape I taped way back in November 1986 where William Shatner guest starred on the Late Show with Joan Rivers on Fox, and I still have it. And it was a very funny episode. She had a good interview with him. I should have brought in a clip, but I didn't.
My question is, why don't you bring some Oreos for us to eat?
Well, see, that's Oreos. I've got some upstairs. I got some. But Hydrox, did you remember Hydrox?
Yeah.
They were before Oreo.
Mike, do you remember Hydrox cookies?
You could have.
I do remember them.
You remember they had a different taste. Now, did you know that they
Sunbeam.
No, Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Sunbeam made the mixers. No, Hydrox came out a few years before Oreo, and Oreo was actually a knockoff of the Hydrox. But now Oreo is the top selling cookie.
And they have the Oreo Thins?
Yeah, they got I've got some of those upstairs. Yeah.
How off topic can we get? But that's okay.
That's off topic.
Well, he brought
That's off topic.
I just want a cookie now.
Mike, what other talk shows were your favorite ones? I mean, you say Joan Rivers, but there had to be. What was probably your favorite talk show? If it's not Joan, maybe it was. Mike?
I mean, I think my favorite interviewer to me was Joan. I liked her, the way that she folded in humor along with her interview. And, she went on to, when she made her comeback, and she did it in daytime television, and ended up getting an Emmy Award for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that daytime show, I remember that. Reverend Bud Green was a weird regular guest he had, some big pot smoker, and she took the anti-pot position, talking about how you're wrecking your lungs. It's worse than a cigarette. There's no filter. Anyway.
It's just a shame that she passed away the way she did.
It is.
During the dental procedure.
And I saw an interview. I saw an interview yesterday with Melissa Rivers being interviewed by Hoda Kotb. I found it on YouTube. And Melissa mentioned that when Jimmy Fallon invited her to be on the first night of his Tonight Show in New York, that that was the anniversary. They didn't plan it that way, but it was the anniversary of when she, around the time that she first appeared as a guest of Carson.
Oh, wow.
Did she finally appear on the show? I didn't see it.
She was his on the first night.
Oh, okay.
He took over the Tonight Show. He had her come on, and of course it was a big deal because she was blackballed by NBC.
Right.
And I guess Carson was turning over in his grave.
Yeah, because Carson had been gone quite a few years, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Carson died October 20th. I'm sorry. He passed away January 23rd, 2005 at the age of 79.
It's funny, when Carson did pass away, I was over it was on a Sunday when he died.
Yeah.
And I was at my mother's house, and we were watching TV, and they had NBC News, special announcement came up, NBC News, and they announced that Carson had died.
Wow.
And my mother looked at me and goes, "What?"
Yeah.
Because she liked to watch it too.
Want to hear something strange?
I didn't even know he was sick.
Want to hear something strange?
No, he didn't let people know.
No, but that's how private he was. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
He was born October 23rd, 1925, and he died January 23rd, 2005. So 23 is the common number.
Well, getting back to Carson, did you ever see, he did a special one time, it was on NBC, where he went back to his hometown.
Yes.
And back where he lived and grew up, and it was really touching and very good.
Yeah, I do remember that. I didn't see it, but I remember. I remember when he did it.
Yeah.
And he also did an elusive, and you saw a little clip of it during our. I played a little moment ago on politics, where he was interviewed by Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
So he didn't do interviews. He just didn't do it.
He did one with Barbara Walters, I believe. That was about it. Yeah, in his home. He had a really cool house in Malibu.
You know, I used to be a big fan of The View when Barbara Walters was on there, and they didn't get political. I can't watch it anymore. I used to like to watch The View.
Yeah, it was all right in the beginning. It had Meredith Vieira.
Yeah, it was good.
What do you watch now, Mike? What lake shows, if any, or do you DVR them? You know?
I honestly, I've watched a little bit of Jimmy Kimmel. Now that he's not hosting, he took a hiatus, supposedly.
Quote unquote hiatus, yeah.
I've enjoyed watching some of the guest hosts because they're not as prone to get political as Kimmel is, but I never have liked Stephen Colbert.
Oh, I never have liked him.
Oh, yeah, he's a droll dick.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please watch the language.
You know, Chance likes to use fancy words, but anyway, I Kimmel. I didn't like him. But why is he on hiatus? What's up with
the cancel culture? Got him.
Well, the COVID culture, yeah.
I'm talking. You're talking about Jimmy Kimmel
on ABC,
right?
Yeah.
He's not on because of the cancel culture. Blackface video surfaced.
Oh,
didn't he really even
right.
Really? I hadn't heard that.
He did blackface, and so the cancel culture.
Whoa, when did he? When did that happen?
It wasn't even that long ago.
Enough. ABC is doing promos of Jimmy Kimmel hosting the Emmy Awards. Isn't the Emmy Awards?
Who's going to watch those anyway?
Well, wait. Back up. He's very powerful, though, because he's brought back All in the Family, as we've talked about in previous PodBlasts. Talking about Jimmy Kimmel. He's executive producer of the new Jefferson specials and All in the Family. Yeah. So he's a player. You know, he's not going to stay gone long. I don't care for him as a stand-up comic. I don't think, personally, he's that funny. But I respect what he has done to bring back live sitcoms and bring back the Norman Lear era and working with Norman Lear.
Yeah. Who's not in his 90s.
Yes.
Yeah,
he looks every bit 90.
He still wears that dumpy hat.
I thought he died.
Hell no, he's still alive, sir.
Did you real quick? Did you see the picture I sent you of Bob Eubanks?
I saw it.
He's looking pretty rough. He's looking pretty rough. Normally, now keep in mind, a lot of these stars look great on TV because they got the makeup and everything. But when you see him without the makeup on, oh my gosh, just like poor Jane Fonda looks.
Yeah, but he always dyes his hair and it makes him look worse.
Speaking of Eubanks, I mentioned this before. He was the original MC for the Beatles when they first went on tour in America. He was at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Bob Eubanks introducing the Beatles, and of course he did the Newlywed Game. And anyway, but that's another matter.
Card Sharks?
Card Sharks, yes, he did after Jim Perry's Card Sharks. And then he also did the Rose Bowl parade for like 33 years. He was retired about 4 years ago from doing that. But yes, he was one of the hosts of the Rose Bowl parade in Pasadena, California.
I did not know that.
So we got to talk about David Letterman soon.
Well, Mike, thank you so very, very much for calling. Anything else you want to say about the talk show host? Now, granted, it doesn't have to be just late night people. It can be daytime people as well. Who'd you watch during the day?
Well, actually, I've watched Kelly Clarkson. I happen to think that she is genuine. I think she's good at her interviewing, and then she recently got an Emmy Award.
She did? Daytime Emmy.
Yeah, she got an Emmy Award.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything, but I got 8 of them.
You do for directing.
You want to see one right? There's one over here on the shelf.
Grab it for the camera.
Brag.
I think that's pretty friggin' cool.
But
I agree about Kelly Clarkson being, a real person. She seems pretty genuine.
I got an Oscar. You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it.
Hey, for people listening, that don't know, she got started, of course, on American Idol. She was the first American Idol winner. I think that's why she's grounded in her upbringing, and she's not Hollywood. She's not fake and phony.
Oh.
Because she really worked her way through her talent to rise up.
Yeah.
I got to pay a royalty to the loser Atlanta Falcons for that. Sorry.
Oh, did they lose, by the way?
I'm sure they did to the Seahawks. I'm sure it's over by now. But anyway. Yeah, they lost.
Why don't you ask me if I care about the Falcons?
Okay, let me hang on. Stand by. Wait.
What?
Al, do you care about the Falcons losing?
Absolutely not.
Well, there it is.
Ask me if I care about the NFL.
Al, do you care about the NFL?
Absolutely not.
Okay, score update.
Mike,
the Falcons lost 25-38 to the Seattle Seahawks. They lost their opener.
What a great score that they had.
38-25.
That's great. That's just fantastic. Mike, thanks so much for calling, and we look forward to you being on a future show.
Yes, we talked about it at lunch. We'd love to have you in studio, Michael.
That'd be nice. Okay, my friend?
I'm looking forward to it myself.
Okay, my friend. We will talk to you soon. Thanks for calling, sir.
All right, but let's talk about, there was a time when I used to watch CNN, and then when I watched it, I watched Larry King live.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I like Larry King live.
Yeah,
he was a great person.
I did too.
Have you watched him lately on this show?
Well, he's hot and stuff now.
Hang on.
It's pretty funny.
But, Larry King, I watched him every night at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
He had great guests. He was a great conversation. I liked him when he was on Mutual Radio.
Yeah.
But I always liked Larry King.
Holy
I thought
smokes.
he did a great job.
I didn't realize it started June 3rd, 1985. Larry King Live.
What did Larry King?
Larry King Live, yeah.
Well, see, here's where we will
That
disagree.
was a staple on CNN.
Yeah.
Back,
It was.
I used to love to watch that show.
But I thought he was a crummy interviewer. You
never listened to his radio show on Mutual Radio?
Yeah, those were good.
I called in. I got on that show.
But I'm talking. I'm talking about when he was at CNN. It seems like he didn't do his homework, and he didn't ask the right questions.
Maybe later on, but early on, I think he did. I mean, I remember seeing.
That's why you got producers.
He had Sinatra on, and it was a great show.
Yeah.
Quick story. Of course, I'm making it about me. But I called into Larry King's radio show in '88, and he was taken by my name. He goes, "Your name's Chance? Wait a minute, your name's Chance? Really? That's not made up?"
You
I
don't
said,
have
"No,
to
it
mock
is."
him.
And then listen, I got a point. And then later, he named his son Chance. Could be
true.
Could be a connection. I don't know. But I have a tape of it somewhere where he's going on and on about how cool my name is. But now Chance is common. You got Chance the Rapper and these jokers like that have made the novelty wear a little thin.
Didn't one of his sons just pass away? I think so.
Oh yeah, the Chance guy.
Yeah, the Chance guy died. One of them. No, one of his sons just passed away recently.
Let me look that up.
No, I'm not. I'm not laughing at his son.
Are you
passing.
making fun of that?
No, I'm really not. It sounded just like I did, and I certainly did not mean it to be that way. I really didn't.
Well, I like
yes,
Larry
it
King.
is right here. King's son, Andy King. That can't be right. Died at age 65.
Wow.
Well, Larry King's about 100 now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that ain't no tragedy. That's natural causes or something.
Well, I just said he died.
Hey, wait a
Okay.
minute.
I didn't say how he died.
Andy King, who King adopted in 1961, died July 28th, 2020, from what his family believes was a heart attack. That is sad. I'm not making light of anyone dying.
Well, we need to
say a
move
prayer.
on from Carson, but like I said before, when Carson left the Tonight Show, Letterman and Carson were good buddies, were good friends, or at least
Leonard was on Letterman's show all the time, and he'd bring that bag of Doritos. That was his big endorsement at the time. Jay Leno in the 80s.
And did you know? Getting back to Carson, he and Ed McMahon really didn't hang out together.
No, they didn't.
They
No,
just
they
worked
didn't.
together, and that's about
Yeah,
it.
that's about
Now,
it.
time out. I do want to discuss Letterman. Are we going to go in a chronological order, or do you want to go right to Leno and the Tonight Show?
No, I want to finish up Carson first. So here's an appearance that Johnny made, which the folks in the audience weren't expecting, and let's
I
listen
like
to
when
it.
he went to the audience and asked questions.
I thought that was great.
It was.
Yeah, it was great. And then he made fun of the. Well, he didn't, but Letterman did, because Letterman did that too. But Letterman would make fun of the dinners or people he was giving the restaurants. Here's a clip of David Letterman show. Here we go.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you something. Tonight's show is so good. This program we have planned for you here tonight, that it makes it so easy. Let me give you an idea how easy tonight's show is because it's so good. It's so easy, I can host it. Easy. On the program, Bette Midler and Traffic reuniting for us right here at CBS Television City. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here with tonight's top 10 list, the host of The Tonight Show for 30 years, Johnny Carson. Johnny!
Bud Melman.
You're worth every penny, pinhead. Good night, suckers.
Well, right up to that point, it was so easy I could host it. All right, tonight's top 10 list from the home office in Sioux City, Iowa. Oh, this is not the list. Johnny, can I have the top 10 list?
Johnny sits down like he's going to take over the show. And you're hoping he will? Standing ovation. Letterman sits down beside him like he's getting ready to be interviewed. Yeah, he took over the show.
Thank you, Johnny. Good night. Nice to see you.
Here comes Letterman sitting back at his desk. Carson's now left.
What's the point? Like, I'm going to continue after that.
Yeah, really.
I thought for a second there he was going to pull out the Karnak turban and we'd be off and running.
I was ready.
Man, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right. Anyway, it was great. It was a great clip. It was a great clip. I was glad I was able to find that, even though it was more.
I saw that when it happened live.
It was more.
Funny,
You watched
funny.
Letterman back then?
Yeah, I watched Letterman back then. I liked him.
Yeah.
I like Carson better, but I watched Letterman.
Yeah.
Speaking of David Letterman, you know, he had a daytime talk show in 1980 that
It was
bombed.
fantastic. Yeah, but it was great.
It was great.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying
Yeah.
attention to it when it was new. I was just a little tiny kid, but,
Yeah.
as I still am. But, yeah, I never watched it. I've seen bits and pieces of
Yeah.
it. But it didn't do well in the
No, it
ratings.
didn't. No, it didn't. And Paul Schaefer was with him then, too. And the funny part about it is when the show was canceled, when they go to break with everyone's resume.
And who did David Letterman replace on February 1st, 1982, after The Tonight Show?
Tell us.
You know, he replaced Tom Snyder's Tomorrow Show, which ran for years after Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And we've got some stuff to talk about Tom Snyder. Al?
Well, Tom Snyder, later on, he got Letterman to come over to CNBC where he did his show.
Yes.
Because he left NBC and went to CNBC. Because they moved him over. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was on CNBC.
That's right. But wait, back up. So,
but it wasn't a late. It was a show that came on in prime time at 9 o'clock.
you mean Letterman got Snyder on CNBC? That's what you mean?
No. Let me back up. When NBC, he left NBC and went to CNBC. And then when CNBC canceled his 9 o'clock show, Letterman got him to go over to CBS.
Yes, for the late
For
show
the late
with
show.
Tom Snyder.
Yeah, before Craig Ferguson.
All right, I was
took over.
confused because, okay, I got you.
You know, and Craig Ferguson was great. But
Now, you know, once upon a time, I called in. Oh, hang on a second.
Not yet. Let's don't talk about that yet.
All right.
Keep going. Keep going about Tom Snyder.
I love the Tomorrow Show, and there's one famous interview or episode you can find on YouTube. It was the Star Trek cast from 1976, before the movies, just before the movie started, and it is a fantastic interview. Shatner wasn't on it, wasn't anymore. It was the other actors like Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov, and Scotty, and DeForest Kelley, and an author, Harlan Ellison, who wrote the best Star Trek episode ever by many fans,
Tom
in their
Snyder
opinion.
he had great guests.
The City on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah, he had a lot of good guests.
But it's a great interview. It's a funny interview. It's words can't do it justice. But the Tomorrow Show was really good. It was a 90-minute show, just like Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. So look, that was 3 hours of late night TV right there, back to back, in the 70s, in the late 70s, until 1982, when David Letterman debuted his show, Late Night with David Letterman on NBC at 12:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I would record it every day. I'm a big Letterman fan. I've seen almost every episode. I was a little kid, and I was in school, but I had a VCR, and I'd record every night and then watch it the next day after school when I should have been doing my homework. That's why I'm in the position I'm in. But
And that's why you flunked out of school.
No,
Yes.
Letterman was good. No. Can you give me some volume on my head?
And there were so many great skits. Now, getting back to Larry Bud Melman, who you saw in the clip previously as Johnny Carson's stand-in, as it were.
Right.
His real name's Calvert DeForest. And
Yes.
he was
And
a character actor.
which is what he went by when David Letterman went over to CBS, because NBC said, no, you can't use that name.
Yeah, they claimed ownership. That's right.
They did. They claimed
That's
ownership.
right.
Yeah.
And he's so, of course, no longer with us, Larry Bud Melman, that character and the actor. But I love that bit. My favorite bits that Letterman did, I like the viewer mail segment he would do every Friday. He, like Johnny Carson, was only on 4 nights a week, originally Monday through Thursday,
Right.
and then Tuesday through Friday. They shifted, but 4 weeks a night nonetheless. And I remember during the writer's strike of 1988, they aired some of the earlier Lettermans that aired when I was too young to really remember them.
Right.
And I loved it. It was like a 3-month period where they aired the really early David Lettermans. But who could forget rather the Velcro suit when Dave jumped on the wall?
Which we played in the open.
In the opening. And there was a time when he threw TVs and watermelons off the top of a building, and it looked like fireworks exploding.
Yeah, and then he had a bulldozer run over stuff too. Do you remember that?
Yes, he did. He did. But one of my favorite bits was when he went ice skating with Paul Schaefer, his band leader. And we'll talk about the Most Dangerous Band in a second. But it was obvious doubles, ice skating, like doing triple axles and stuff like that. That was in the CBS years. Or no, it was still NBC. It was a 1992 special.
True.
That's right.
True.
Has he cut his beard yet?
No, he hasn't.
Well, he's probably trimmed it, but
It looks
I'm a
awful.
huge classic Late Night with David Letterman fan.
I like the show, fine, but
And I remember one in 1988, I think it was, when Madonna was on with Sandra Bernhard, who is best known as being in The King of Comedy. She was the girl stalking. And I swear, he must have had a menage a trois that night. That was the weirdest interview. Anyone out there that knows what I'm talking about, you'll remember it. But, man, and then how about the band? The Most Dangerous Band, Paul Schaefer's band. You had Anton Fig. He's a South African drummer. He started with the band, joined in 1986. You'd have David Sanborn on sax occasionally. He wasn't on regularly. And then Will Lee, the bassist, you know, and then you had Sid McGuinness, the guitarist. That was a great, great band.
it was a super band.
Well, Doc Severn was good too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Ed Shaughnessy on drums, Tommy Newsom,
Yeah.
But
sax,
that's a
who took
different
over.
kind of band. That's more like
Yeah,
a big band.
It was, yeah, it was.
And this is a rock band.
And Severson was a well-known studio musician.
Yeah.
He played with he did a lot of stuff with Nick Perito, who did a lot of arranging and conducting for Como, and so he was Severson had been around a long time even before the Tonight Show, as a professional musician.
Well,
on
you know,
trumpet.
I think Skitch Henderson was the band leader.
Yes,
you
yes, he
know,
was. Yes, he was.
Before Doc Severinsen.
And how about Chris Elliott on the Dave Letterman show? Before he did that show, Get a Life, he was great. He did a parody of The Fugitive called The Fugitive Guy.
Yeah.
And they did a parody of the final episode of Fugitive where they were at the amusement park, but it was an ongoing little bit in serial. They made it look like an episode. And it had the announcer.
Yeah.
Remember the announcer?
No.
Wendell.
Wendell. Oh yeah, Wendell.
Tonight's episode.
Yeah, Wendell.
The Man Under the Stairs. And that was another character
Yeah.
Chris Elliott did, the guy under the stairs with the audience. He'd come up and he was just like some burnout homeless guy living under the studio seats.
And his father was one of the radio folks that who did old
Bob and
time
Ray.
Bob and Ray. Yeah.
Bob and Ray.
Yeah.
We talked about that previously.
Yes, we
But
did.
Chris Elliott is a great talent, very
Yes, he most
underrated,
certainly did.
very funny. But I mean, we can go on and on about Letterman, but I mean, there's so many good bits. Do you have a favorite? I like the Man on the Street stuff he did. I liked when GE bought NBC and he showed up with a basket of fruit and they wouldn't let him up. The security didn't know who he was.
And every radio show, morning radio show, always replayed the top 10 from the night before. I don't care
That's it.
what radio show you listen to, they played the top 10.
Our friend Jim
Every-
Gossett does the top 10 list as
yeah.
Letterman.
Yeah. Well, I liked that part of the show, and also liked, just like I liked
Sorry, Roses.
Karnak on Carson. That was my favorite
True,
bit.
true.
That was my
Karnak
favorite.
was great. Karnak was great.
Karnak
And
was my favorite.
And you always wonder who got the hat. Where this? I think
It's somewhere.
I want to say the Smithsonian has it, but
It better
I
not be
could
in a
be
storage
wrong.
center. Storage
the desk
unit.
that Carson uses at the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, as it should be.
Yeah.
The desk.
Yeah.
And his microphone.
As is the chair Archie Bunker had in Fonzie's jacket, and the Enterprise model for the special effects
But
is hanging up
the
there.
microphone, even on Letterman's desk and on they didn't use that was just a prop.
Right.
'Cause
Correct.
They actually had, level.
Correct. If you watch Conan O'Brien, you'll see that mug right there. Hold it up. The mug right there. Don't be careful with it. It's just like it's Eisenhower, and it's you'll see that mug on Conan O'Brien's show, on all of his shows. So yeah, be careful with it. It's valuable. Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
I want to hear it break. I'm just joking.
No, but anyway. So Carson was, we're saying he was a king of late night, of course, and not too many people can dispute that.
Letterman never had a fill-in host. And Johnny Carson took off a lot of time. I know we were talking about how he worked 4 days a week, but aside from that, that man took a lot of time off, a lot of vacation
gave
time.
him a lot of time.
Yeah,
Oh.
Bert Convey was a guest host along with
liked
Letterman,
him.
along with
Now,
Joan Rivers. There were
Now, when Letterman had his open heart surgery, he had a lot of stand-in
reruns.
No,
Well, that's true. And
we
there
had a
were-
lot of hosts.
That's true. During that period.
Yeah.
And he had open heart surgery. He had
Yes,
that
he
in
did.
common with Regis Philbin, God rest his soul, who recently passed away.
Did Paul
They were good
Schaefer
friends.
ever go over and host the show?
I don't.
Because Doc Severinsen actually hosted the Carson show for some.
Yeah.
He'd go to
One time.
He did?
Yeah, Paul Schaefer one time.
Maybe he didn't like to do it.
Do you remember the time Letterman went through the drive-through of a Taco Bell?
Oh, he did.
Did you watch Letterman?
Well, yeah, he did
Okay.
Taco Bell. He did
Yeah.
not Burger King, but McDonald's. He did McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
and they were hilarious. It was back when Letterman would go out on location and do funny stuff,
And in the
which he
opening-
stopped doing.
In the opening, you played the clip of Cher,
Yes.
where he asked Cher, the beginning of this is cut off in the clip. He goes, Cher, we've tried to have you on the show for a long time. How come you never came on? She goes, well, because I heard you're an
Well,
ass.
let's listen to the whole clip and be the judge of it by yourselves. Okay, here it is.
What was the I mean, you must have had a change of heart about something.
No, actually, I don't know, because I thought that I would never want to do this show with you.
Now, why? Now, let's explore this a little. Why? Because you thought I was
An ass.
There you go. So, I mean, Cher just called him out.
She called him an asshole.
Yeah. I also pulled the clip, which I'm not going to play it, but of Drew Barrymore.
Oh, Drew Barrymore did a little strip tease on his birthday on his desk.
Yeah.
That would be too visual for the audio
Yeah,
listener.
you wouldn't be able to understand what's going on with that.
Well, how about when Jane Fonda was on? Remember the cat joke?
On what? On Letterman? Or on Carson?
On Carson.
He's
No,
bouncing
I-
around here.
No, I
Carson,
don't. I don't
Letterman.
remember that. I don't remember that. What was the deal?
I'll tell you off mic.
Oh, well, wait a minute. If it was okay to be on Carson, would you think it'd be okay here?
And
But,
Oprah was on, like Letterman went to Vegas and did a series of shows in '87, and it didn't go well, and she never went on the show again.
Yeah.
She was on in 1987.
Carson, to me, he started his show in New York, but and then he would go to California for a couple of weeks out of a year or whatever to do his
Yes.
show. Then he finally moved to California.
Yeah.
And I thought his show was better when he went to California.
And there was one time when Letterman went to California, and Johnny Carson would come on Letterman's NBC show, and he brought a desk. Do you remember that? He brought out a desk.
I played that clip a little while ago.
No. I know that. No, I'm talking before that. That was CBS years.
Yeah.
I'm talking about NBC. He would literally bring out like a balsa wood prop desk and sat down next to it. It was fun. Again, you had to see it. You had to be there. But it was funny as hell. And he did a funny segment in California where he pulled over people with strange license plates. Like, it showed this really old lady, and her plate was, "I'm hip." And I mean, like, again, I guess I shouldn't brought it up because you have to see it. I shouldn't bring up something.
Yeah, you should. You should see it. But funny thing is that Carson actually tried to be more Lettermanish and tried to do some bits like Carson and like Letterman, pardon me, and it flopped for him. It just
Well,
he
didn't
tried it
Letterman
once.
go
and that was
to like he would go to restaurants there in New
Yes.
York?
Yeah.
There was one
In
of
Rupert's Deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That was
yeah.
at CBS.
Hello
years.
Deli.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
thought that was pretty
And
funny.
it was, and hey, it was a big deal to get the Ed Sullivan Theater, by the way, when he left. Okay, and let's see if we covered this. I don't want to repeat myself. So,
What's the Ed Sullivan Theater?
So, all right, Jay Leno gets the Tonight Show. Dave is butthurt, so he leaves the network.
Right.
He also got butthurt about something else. His production company, Worldwide Pants, syndicated reruns of the show to A&E. And when I was in college in the 90s, I would watch them. A&E would air them Monday through Friday. Anyway, apparently Letterman didn't get a piece of that action, and he was pissed. And then Bravo Network tried to air the Worldwide Pants reruns of Late Night with David Letterman, NBC here. So anyway, NBC pissed him off a couple different ways.
Yeah, I can see that.
So he wound up going to CBS in 1994. Who took over Late Night in 93 when he left? Because there was a hiatus, a period in between the transition from NBC to CBS. Of course, Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien took over at Rockefeller Center.
Yes, he
His
did.
old soundstage is where the Conan O'Brien show was done for years, from 93 until...
I remember before Letterman came on that CBS had a movie every night at 11:30.
Yes, they
the
did.
CBS late movie.
Yeah, they did.
I used to, and they brought that back for a while.
They did during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was on Sunday night.
Right, and they had the CBS late movie, but because they ran Raiders of the Lost Ark and that's
Grease,
Grease and
Titanic,
and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So you talk about Conan when he took over the Tonight Show. He did probably what I consider one of the best opens of anything, and I've got it. But the problem is, it's all visual, so I don't know if it'd be worth running.
I can go to
actually.
YouTube and see it.
But just go to YouTube and look at it. It's very good. It's basically the gist of it is he's sitting there making a list, doing the check off of what buy a house, not buy a house, but build a set and blah blah blah. And he gets down to the last thing. It says move to L.A. and he looks up at the camera, and then looks over into the window, and the camera pans over, and you see the New York skyline. He's forgotten to move.
And
so it was very funny, very visual. Look it up on YouTube. You'll
know
enjoy it.
when the David Letterman went off, I saw pictures online. CBS destroyed the set.
Yes.
And they took it all apart and they threw it outside in the dumpsters, and people were going through the dumpsters getting parts of the set.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You've told me that before. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And actually had video people pulling out stuff from the set.
It's pretty
to save it.
pretty
Now,
crazy.
how about that woman that would break into Letterman's house several times?
Yeah,
he had
that
a
was
stalker.
pretty scary. Pretty
Margaret
creepy.
Mary Ray was her name.
Wow, amazing you pulled that out of your hat.
And she actually killed herself on October 5th, 98 on train tracks. She laid down on train tracks and just got ran over.
Yeah, poor
but
thing.
Letterman felt sorry for her. He actually made a statement after she died and said she was a troubled woman. He had a very eloquent statement about her.
Yeah.
But one time she broke into his house while he was in bed with his girlfriend.
Wow.
And she just looked at him. Now, this is according to a documentary on the Reels channel, a gossipy cable channel.
So you know it's true.
I don't know.
You know
That's
it's
sort of-
true.
Let's do a fact check on that.
No, but
know it's
I did.
true.
Actually, I went online, and there are a lot of articles that verify that.
But there was a lady also
she broke in while he was in
getting
bed.
back to Carson. There was an older lady who went to every single show on Carson. Remember?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Well, Mrs.
She sat on the front row. She was there
she
every
did. She
single
did
show.
more game shows than anything else.
Well, but she also went to
she wore glasses. I can't think of her name.
I remember seeing her.
Come on, somebody out there know it. Call it. Call us number. Call us right now.
But she was at every Tonight Show. She went to every tape.
I don't know about that, but I know about the guy that's eaten a Big Mac every day since 1972, and he's thin, and he's still alive. He hasn't died of a stroke yet.
Well, that's probably because he throws up every.
But I digress. But Letterman was wildly successful, was he not? Do we have any clips of Letterman?
Well, we do.
Well, we already played it.
Let's
Did you
play
play
it.
one?
We already played a couple of them.
You didn't do the
but,
Christmas? It's okay. Well, let me just say, I'll talk about it real quick. There was a Christmas special in '87. It was a sequel to the one in '84, Late Night with David Letterman, where he had a fake family. I thought it was funny. It's kind of dry humor. It may not be good audio.
It's very visual.
It had this crazy brother Daryl, and
Yes, it's very visual.
very visual.
Which was again, look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know? That's
And
what
Connie
I say.
Chung introduces the 1987
Yes, she does. Yes, she
Letterman
does.
Family Christmas.
Yes, it's like the Clark Griswold Family Christmas, but there were other shows as well. There was the ill-fated Chevy Chase show.
Thank you. And back before that, Pat Sajak in 1989.
Sajak before that?
1989,
Well,
yes.
Joey Bishop
I wanna
had
go
a
in
show.
order.
Yeah,
Joey
yeah.
Bishop had one.
Well, yeah,
Wasn't
you're
very
going
good.
way back.
Well, let's look at a little bit of the open of the Pat Sajak show, just so we can say that we've seen it. Okay.
From Television City in Hollywood, Chevy Chase, Joan Van Ark, The Judge, Michael Gross, Superoff. Comic Dennis Wolfberg. And Pat gets a physical. Plus, Tom Scott and the band, along with me, Dan Miller. All here tonight on the Pat Sajak Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Sajak.
Of course, there's Chevy Chase. A very short-lived. How long did it last?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
What happened? Did it not
It
just
tanked in the ratings on Fox. I have one episode on tape because Christopher Reeve was on it, and I'm kind of a Superman nutball.
And this was before
he was
Fortune.
paralyzed. It was obviously before he was right before, like maybe 2 years before he was paralyzed. It wasn't very good. And he talked about, in the interview with Chris Reeve, Chevy Chase was like, I flew in a movie once, a terrible movie called Modern Problems. And I have a film print of that. You ever see Modern Problems with Chevy Chase? He gets nuclear powers. Anyway.
No, this is Chevy Chase we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
I thought we were talking about
Pat Sajak?
We did.
Well, we just showed the opening.
I just showed I just showed a clip of Pat Chase.
But that show was before Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah.
No, it was after.
It was during. It was during, wasn't it?
It was during.
Yeah.
He was on Wheel of Fortune, started in December '82. Him and Vanna took over from Chuck Woolery.
Right. I like
and
Chuck
so
Woolery.
'89 is when the Pat Sajak show began on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
It was opposite Letterman to take him on.
I don't really
and Pat
remember too
Sajak
much
is
about
good. He is witty. He is funny. Anyone that watches Wheel of Fortune knows to this day he still has a great sense of
So why do
humor.
you think his show didn't make it?
Because Letterman was very good and he had a solid, loyal audience,
Yes, he did.
loyal fans, and the writing was spot on. A lot of these writers went on to SNL, and hey, Conan O'Brien was a writer for SNL, but Letterman had the best writing. And he had regulars like Terry Garr, remember?
Yeah.
Terry Garr was like his on-screen girlfriend, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Dick
love
Cavett,
Terry Garr.
Dick Cavett was a big writer. He wrote for the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I think they shouldn't have put him opposite. I just think he got a bad time slot, Sajak, because I think he deserved a shot. He's really talented and really funny. And we played on PodBlast 3 Honeymooners a clip from the Pat Sajak show where he interviewed Audrey Meadows, who played Ralph Cramden's wife on the Honeymooners.
Right. Correct.
But what about Joey Bishop? He was on for a short period of time.
He was, and
that's in the '60s, right?
Yeah, but no, I think it's the early '70s.
No, it's early '70s.
But that show didn't last very long either.
No,
Arthur Treacher was his sidekick. Arthur Treacher, remember him? He's Arthur Treacher Fish and Chips and stuff like that, and that's where he was from.
Now, are you going to play the clip?
Plus from the movies as well.
Are you going to play the clip of Tom Snyder?
Hey now.
That's Hank Kingsley from the Larry Sanders Show. Yeah. Well,
We're all over the place today, folks, but
the problem with your clip is I didn't get to resize it, so I'm not sure what it's going to look like.
to play it. It's more audio anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll listen to it.
On September 20th, 96, yours truly called in and talked with a famous actor and Tom Snyder on the Late Late Show with Tom Snyder.
With Tom Schneider, yes, he did. And I probably won't have audio from it either because I didn't set that up either. So we can try to play.
We played that one time. We did that on one of our shows.
Yeah, but here's video.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah,
I don't know if we did or not.
No, we played it when we did the show for my
Do we have
place.
it, Tom?
I've got it, but it's the wrong size, and plus it's.
Let's just try it.
Plus, there's no audio from it because
There's definitely no audio?
Well, there's audio, but I got to go in and hit it and tell it what to look at. That's the bad thing about OBS that we're using is once you start the show, you can bring in the clips, but guess what? There might be the wrong aspect ratio and everything, and you got to tell it what audio source to look at. And unfortunately, I did not do that. I did it on the other clip, but I didn't do it on.
Well, then let's roll The Tonight Show. This is Headlines, a segment on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Every Monday night, he do a bit called Headlines, where people would mail in misprints, and I mailed one in. This is from March of '95.
Yes, you did. And here it is.
It says all bras 30% off. Now, let me show you the ad. And then look closely. It says, look, there's the presidential seal. So apparently Clinton's somehow involved in this. This one I love. Microwave spoon. Handy helper for microwave dishes. Stirs, mixes, and serves. Can you get in close? Not intended for use in microwaves. Now, what is it? It's just a plastic spoon. Here you go, gals. Here's something for the women. Here you go. Ladies, listen up. Big brand panty liners. Yes, sir. It's Big B brand panty liner. With built-in flash. For that full-figured gal. Yes, sir, Bob. Yeah, I like a pack of Big B panty liners, please.
All right, so that was Chance's. You did the panty liner? Is
Yes.
that what that was?
Where did you get that at?
I was working as a stock boy at the time at Big B drugstores.
Woo, Big B.
B stands for Bruno's. It was a
I remember
sister,
Big B's. Yeah.
It was a sister company in the southeast of Bruno's grocery store. Anyway, there was a misprint on the little sales flyer, and it said Big B brand panty liners with built-in flash. Obviously, that was for a camera.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you heard what
Built-in
Jay said. He made a
flash.
joke out of
You
it. Yeah.
still have that?
Yeah. we just played the clip. What do you mean?
I know, but
this little card.
Do you still have the card?
Yeah,
You
I do.
Well,
Yeah.
he fixed the car. He had to mail it to him, right?
I kept one. There were two.
Oh, okay.
I kept one and I mailed one in. They didn't mail it back. No.
Well, of course they
No,
didn't.
they
They tossed them that night. It's a shame. It's a shame that
They just throw them in the floor.
Well,
No.
yeah, but the ones he threw on the floor, what they should have done. This is what they should have done: is everyone he used, he could have signed to that person on the card and mailed it to that person. That person would have been a lovely keepsake.
I'll quickly describe the Tom Snyder episode. Malcolm McDowell was the guest, okay, from Clockwork Orange and Time After Time, and he killed off Captain Kirk in Star Trek Generation. So my question was, and it made Tom Snyder crack up. I go, Malcolm, I have a question for you. What did it feel like to kill off Captain James T. Kirk of Star Trek? And then Tom Snyder goes, ha ha ha. He goes, would you be a Trekkie, Chance? Anyway, and they went on, and basically Michael McDowell says, look, I just collected a check. And then he goes, no. He goes, I understand. He's a legend.
No,
in
they all
America
do that. They just
and
do
the
it for the
world."
money.
Yeah.
It was a good little moment. And then I said, love you, Tom. He goes, love you back, Chance. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to show it. Rats.
Well, hey, we'll show it next week.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Now, don't you have a clip of? Did you play Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a delay. I didn't, okay.
I played Chevy Chase, and I also played Pat Sajak. And there was also another
Chance is not paying
short-term.
attention.
Short-term.
No, I am, but there's a freaking delay.
It was a short-term show, which unfortunately didn't last. I don't know why, because it had a good following. Was Lopez Tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and that was actually
That was on TBS, wasn't it?
Rick
Yes.
Dees had Rick Dees had an early 1990s, didn't last long, late night talk show.
Yeah. Well, here's Lopez Tonight.
On TBS, from the new party capital of the world, Burbank, California, at Warner Brothers Studios, it's Lopez Tonight. Tonight, Kathy Griffin from Modern Family.
All right, so he had crappy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin.
Same thing. But boom, where's that rim shot? And but he had some good guests. He had a good set. And on a Warner Brothers lot, he had the way they had the audience laid out amongst the water tower and all the stuff that they got.
Last?
I don't know. It was It was on TBS. Maybe it cost too much.
No, they're cheap.
Yeah. So look what they've done to Conan. Conan's only 30 minutes now. So
it's crazy, an hour.
Do we have any clips of Conan, or are we good on that?
No, we're good on Conan. Let's play one more thing from Lemon and get off a letter. Let's do
good.
Let's do stupid pet tricks and human tricks, okay? Because it's worth doing. Here it comes.
What you're going to do tonight?
Well, I'm human alarm.
Human alarm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How do you do this?
I can show you.
Okay. Let's do it that way.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Alan Tate, ladies and gentlemen, the human alarm. Take it away. Who told you you had to get all dressed up? Good to have you guys here on the program. Now, I've just seen what the trick is, and I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Tell us what it is.
It's called the human helicopter.
The human helicopter.
Kimberly Goodman from Chicago, Illinois, bugging out her eyes.
I am going to scratch my eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't mean what that sounds, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
With scratch with your fingers?
My fingers, yes.
Right, and scratch actually the what part of your eyeball?
The eyelids.
Oh, the eyelids. Just like this?
No, underneath.
Oh, the underneath part. Oh, wow. This is going to be creepy. I can just tell right now it's going to be creepy. Holy God. Holy God. Whoa.
Ah, can you believe what she's just doing? Ah.
All right. What do you guys want to do for us tonight?
Well, Grable talks. When you ask
Oh, my God, a talking dog, ladies and gentlemen. My God. Congratulations.
30 years
Whoa.
it's taken. We finally have
After all of these years,
32
a
years.
talking dog.
This we got to hear.
You are on Easy Street. What will the dog say?
Well, when you ask him who the president is, he says Obama.
Oh, my God. All right. I'm going to step back, and I'm going to listen to this.
Quiet.
It's our first ever talking dog, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready.
Down. Who's the president? Who? Who is it?
All right, that's enough of that.
Now we know this is mostly a visual
I
thing,
love
so you can
it.
go to Facebook and watch it if you don't see it now.
Yes, our Facebook page is Nostalgic PodBlast. PodBlast is one word, or go to our YouTube channel. It's brand new. And please subscribe so you'll know when we have a new video up.
Now, a show we haven't mentioned is a very popular show was, did you like the Ellen DeGeneres show?
No. It's okay. It's not for me.
It was real popular.
Yeah.
I mean,
It still is.
No, she's getting canceled for cancel culture because she's abusive to her staff, allegedly.
Is she
has
getting
issues
canceled
now,
really?
too. Yeah,
She's in trouble.
Yeah, she's in trouble,
Well,
but
you know.
it was a very popular show.
That's a shame. That's a shame. It's like
she's funny, you know.
Oh,
you can't do nothing. Now, do you think if Rickles had lived, he'd be in trouble?
Who?
Yes,
With
Don
Don
Rickles. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Don Rickles
But
didn't
maybe
care.
not because he's Jewish. So I don't know, they get a pass, you know.
They get a pass. All right.
Well, Don Rickles, he wasn't going to change for anybody.
Now, here's the ironic part. Now, there's your daytime talk shows like the Phil Donahues and stuff.
Good.
But there's
Good
also
transition.
But there's also the crappy ones, the Jerry Springer. Although you may have liked it.
Jerry.
Well, you know, that was a guilty pleasure. I kind of like watching it. You know. Just
well, you got the Jerry Springer. You got the Geraldo. Geraldo.
Geraldo had a great time. Great incident. We had racists on.
Then what is the show?
You are not the father.
That was
Maury
Springer?
Povich.
Yeah, but
Maury
Povich. Yeah, but Geraldo. What happened to Geraldo?
Geraldo had his nose broken in by a chair,
Ooh.
busted by they had skinheads on.
Yeah,
with
let's
black,
watch it. You want
with
to see
black
it?
activists. I would love to
All right.
see it.
Well, it's
and
a
hear
short
it.
So we're
clip.
going to watch some violence
but
now?
Yeah,
just
this
a
is
little
classic.
bit.
We're gonna
Yeah,
watch
he's going to
some
get his ass
violence?
beat. Watch.
You believe in your convictions, and your movement is as good and as powerful as you say it is. Why are you afraid to let other people speak? Why are you not like other minorities and allow other people to pursue whatever happiness they find in whatever religion they find, whatever color they happen to be? You don't let anybody answer a question, and if you don't have a question like this lady over here, you tell her to shut up. What are you afraid of?
The reason why I do that is because I get sick and tired of hearing the sob stories from kikes. I get sick and tired of seeing Uncle Tom here sucking up, trying to be a white
Go ahead, Roy, go ahead. Now, let me tell you. Hey, you gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. Hey, hold it. Hold it. Sit down.
So that was it.
Look at that melee.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, you got to see this on YouTube, Nostalgic PodBlast or Facebook.
The melee lasted longer than I edited the clip down because it was just too much. It was just too long.
And speaking of violence, how about the Jenny Jones situation? She would have the Secret Crush episode, and some guy came on who was homosexual and said, I have a crush on this
Oh,
person.
yeah, that's right.
And the guy didn't know.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and the guy who was straight wound up killing the gay guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Shot him or
Yeah,
something.
now, wasn't her show canceled after that?
No, it went on hiatus and it
Okay.
came back, but the ratings did dip because of that. But nobody knew.
I always liked her red glasses.
Oh, you're thinking of
Sally Jesse Raphael.
Is that who we're talking about?
No, Jenny Jones. She
Jenny
was,
Jones.
I
See,
really
there's so many. There's so many of these talk shows.
Remember, I don't
Yes.
remember Jenny Jones. I never watched that
She
show.
had long hair. Anyway, and then, I mean, you had so many weirdos that had shows like, well, you know, Ricky Lake. She's not a weirdo, but she had a successful daytime talk show. And how about Gabrielle Carteris, who's now the president of the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA? She had a talk show that didn't last long. And do you know the kid from the Cosby Show?
Tempest
Bledsoe.
Yeah.
For God's sake, she
I had no
had
idea.
a talk show.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Rosie
In the
O'Donnell
90s,
had a
midnight.
talk show.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr. Michael Hopkins says on our Facebook, Roseanne Barr had a daytime talk show.
Really?
I don't remember it.
I don't
Think
remember
about
either.
it. You know, Rosie O'Donnell's she's crazy, but I liked her show. It was
Yeah,
it was good.
It was a good show.
Rosie Perez, I think, had one.
And how about she always would pretend she had a crush on Tom Cruise, and of
Yeah,
course later
yeah.
she's a
Yeah.
lesbian. We all know, but you know,
Yeah, but,
oh Tom.
Yeah, but it's okay. Ellen even likes some of the men that come on her show too.
Yeah.
She'll tell you in a heartbeat. So just because that's her preference,
She can
doesn't mean
appreciate
she
attractiveness.
doesn't like
absolutely,
exactly.
absolutely.
So-
Now, how about Tom Cruise jumping on Oprah's couch?
That was crazy.
Oprah's got to be like her or don't dislike her. She's the queen of the daytime talk show, even though she's been off for years.
Was the queen.
Yeah.
Was the queen, and she gave away cars.
Well, she has her own network now.
Well, she didn't give away cars. Her sponsors did.
Well, I still think it was a pretty cool gimmick to attract ratings.
Yeah,
And
but
she's
then-
a great interviewer.
But
Talk
then
about
her and Tyler Perry kind of hooked up, and then Tyler Perry gave away cars to the crew.
Well, Tyler Perry copies everybody. I like Tyler Perry, but he copies everybody. Look, face it. You know when he does all those different characters? Eddie Murphy did that in Coming to America and The Nutty Professor.
But he was doing Medea a long time before.
Well, no, but you know who did that type thing before that? Flip Wilson. The devil may be
Well,
waiting
that's
to strike.
true.
And then
Geraldine.
and then after,
Geraldine was there.
And after that, Martin Lawrence in Big
Martin
Mama's.
Lawrence is funny.
Big Mama's
Big
House.
Mama's House,
1,
yeah.
2, and 3. 3 shot here in Atlanta. I worked on that set just
yeah.
as an extra, but it
Yeah.
was a great set.
Yeah.
At what's it? Margaret? No.
Margaret Thatcher.
That's
Were you gonna
Agnes
say-
Scott College. It was a girls' college.
I thought you were going to say Margaret Thatcher's house. I was going to say, well, how does that work?
But I
into
think,
this?
on a serious note, I think Jerry Springer actually was a detriment to society. I think
Well, Michael said that
it
Queen
spawned-
Latifah had a daytime show.
Yes.
I
now,
like Queen
now
Latifah.
here's the ironic,
Dana Owens.
Here's the ironic part. Jerry Springer. He's got a new show.
I like Springer.
Would you like to see a clip from it?
Sure.
No.
He's got a break. Oh, it's short.
I don't wanna
It's
see it.
short.
Good.
But
Okay.
but it's I couldn't believe it. But here you go. Here you go.
Former lawyer, mayor, and talk show host. Now, he's Judge Jerry Springer.
Okay, I rule a lot. So I am awarding the plaintiff $3,250.
What's up, Marlene? Looking like a fool. Okay, I'll just try to you better grow up. Does she really want to hair?
So there you go.
It's just going to be another
Judge-
Jerry Springer show.
It's a rip-off of
kinda
Judge
what
Judy.
Well, that's kind of what it did at the end. You see him grab that
that's all it's gonna
lady.
be.
Phony. And you know what I
The
don't
plaintiff.
You know what I don't like about Judge Judy? When I learned this, I quit.
I like Judge Judy, though.
I like her.
Well, she's retiring anyway.
I like her too. Okay, she's a billionaire. Good for her. God bless you. But I don't like that the show pays awards the damages. The people don't pay. When you lose a case on Judge Judy, the show pays that. So it's all
Yeah,
fake
but who
drama.
cares? It's great
Well, I don't
entertainment.
know. It's kinda-
It's just kind of fun to watch.
Facebook comment, Wesley Millsap. Donnie Marie Osmond had their daytime talk show.
Yeah,
Fox 5 Atlanta, WAGA
True.
TV was one of the affiliates. And we've played a clip when we
Yeah.
they did the Idream of Jeannie, the one and only cast reunion when Larry Hagman was still alive and Bill Daly and, of course, Barbara Eden, who's still alive. And it was wonderful. Anyway, yes, the Donnie Marie show was good. 1999 to, I think, 2000. Only lasted a year or so.
Yeah.
And how about the Doctors? And you have a few shows with men. Not many, but there are
Whatever
some.
happened to the Doctors? Is that not on
I think
anymore?
it's syndicated now. No, it's still on. ABC canceled it, but it's syndicated.
Well, Channel 2 here in Atlanta used to carry it, but they don't.
But then they would air it overnight, like at 3 in the morning when everyone's asleep.
But they used to have it like
moved
at 4 in the afternoon.
They did, but no,
Yeah.
it was in the morning.
It's in
It
the
was-
11 o'clock. No,
Yeah.
no.
It was before The View.
Before
I
The
believe.
View. It was
yeah,
at 10
a.m.
o'clock. It was 10
It got
o'clock.
moved and shuffled around. And then you had the other half before that in like the early 2000s with Danny Bonaducci. You had a white guy, a black guy, a Hispanic guy. Mario Lopez was on
Danny
there.
Barnaducci is a creep, you know.
Yeah.
He was okay on the Partridge Family. That's about it.
All right, guys, we got to wrap soon. Any other daytime talk shows, and anyone out there, please call in. It's your last call to call in with anything we may have left out or anything you want to talk about, or just blast us. Or
we didn't mention the show, the Late Late Show with James Corden. I mean,
good one.
Do you like him?
It's good. I thought he was. I think he's
I like
good.
Craig Ferguson better.
I do too. We're all in agreement. The PodBlast high five. We all agree.
Yeah.
Craig Ferguson. High five.
Touch your hands.
High five.
You don't have COVID, do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway,
well, I've sprayed with alcohol.
He sprayed.
I like
spray
James.
spray
I mean, the Late
spray
Late
my
Show
hand
is-
because I touched y'all's.
Well,
There. There we go. So, we
I
smell
got
like rubbing
Lysol.
alcohol.
I'll get to the point.
I got Lysol wipes. I got Clorox wipes.
We got to wrap this up, guys. We're Chance, do you have a contest you want to talk about?
Oh, yes, I do.
I got one more thing.
Yeah, and we got that too.
I'll tell you.
All right,
Hurry
guys,
up.
I've given a
to it.
hint last week. I'm giving away every episode ever made of the classic Linda Carter Wonder Woman television show. The reason we're doing that is the new movie's about to come out, set in the year 1984. Now, rumor is it was supposed to be released October 4th. The rumor is it's been pushed to Christmas because New York and LA still have their theaters in lockdown. So Warner Brothers has pushed it yet again.
Really?
Originally, it's supposed to be released July 4th weekend. So anyway, we want to get you up to speed. This is a great show. Lots of guest stars. Rick Springfield was on it a couple times for any of the chicks out there my age that swooned for him in the early 80s, and a lot of other guest stars. Great show, set in World War II. So here's the question. Question is, what do the show Wonder Woman, Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, and the show My Three Sons have in common? My hint last week was, and no one has guessed it right, it has something to do with the way the show is transmitted, okay? And I'm not talking technically. It's a simple... All right, where could you watch the shows?
The networks.
We'll leave it at that.
I don't know.
Well, you're right on it. You're right on it. That's as close a hint as I'm going to give.
I gave too
to answer
good of a
that
hint.
question. First person to answer that question
Al, you
wins.
can win. Al, you can win.
I know.
And there's the set.
Can I have
No,
one?
don't tell him.
Nope. Al, I gave you the answer.
I'll sell them if I get them.
All right, so just write in on our Facebook page or comment.
Yeah, he would too.
I put them on eBay.
Write us directly. What do My Three Sons and Wonder Woman have in common? And I've got a correction corner. I have a correction from last week.
You got a correction corner?
Have you ever noticed that he's the one that's always screws up?
one more time. He was talking. We haven't done that in a while, and I love that.
What is it?
Real brief. Last time, and they died too young, I mentioned the passing of Luke Perry, and I said he died of cancer, and Shannon Doherty's battling breast cancer again because it's come back, and we pray and wish her well.
Yeah.
No, he died of a stroke.
Mm.
He had a series of strokes, and so he died at 52.
But
So that's all my correction.
But he just died.
Yeah.
Huh?
He died.
Yes, he did.
He died.
Who
Luke
died?
Perry.
Luke Perry.
Yeah, but I said he died of cancer. He died of strokes.
I know, but he's dead.
The fans,
He corrected himself.
People wrote me and said, no, it was stroke. So I want to acknowledge I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Hey, it matters.
I have one more thing. I have one more thing.
well, you
before
got-
we add.
you got what?
I got one more thing. All right. Chance and I are we go to the movies a lot. And so we went to the movies and we saw Tenet that stars Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah, I don't even care what his name is because he's a lousy actor. He sucks. He sucks as an actor.
And the guy that played in Twilight, what's his name?
Pattinson. Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson.
Robert
he was
Pattinson.
in Twilight, and he's the new Batman.
Was it a movie about tents?
It's called Tenet.
The Tenet. All right. Well, we went. First of all, it's 2.5 hours long.
Woo!
It's not short, and it's. I guess you have to get into Christopher Nolan's brain to know what he was making, because, when I turned to Chance after the movie was over, I said, "What in the hell did we just watch?"
It's a mess. For one, the people talk too low. You can't understand what the actors are saying.
You can't understand a word they're saying because they almost whisper like this, and then
like Tom does.
I've heard there's audio issues.
Yes.
There is audio issues with it. I mean, it's a visual movie to look at in some respects because there's lots of explosions and gunfire and fights and that sort of stuff, but it's also done in slow motion in reverse.
In reverse. It's a time travel gimmick, but they don't explain how.
They don't explain
why.
how it happens.
And people
or
are
why
wearing
does it.
gas masks. That's not explained. And it's like a wannabe James Bond and Mission Impossible movie, and they don't even explain who they work for. The good guys.
It's
what
like
agency?
a sequel. Like they wanted to do a sequel that explains it all.
I just
That's right.
You know, rating the movie, I give it 2 stars out of 5.
Well,
I just didn't care for it.
I give it 5 yawns.
Well, the movie will probably
5 yawns. If the higher the yawn, the worse it is in my book. 5 yawns.
Well, sadly, it'll
From Chance
probably do well because it's the only new movie that's kind of out there.
You know, we saw Unhinged, and that's a great movie.
I loved Unhinged. I've seen it. I hate to admit this, 3 times in the cinema.
But now that's good.
The only thing going for Tenet technically is that they shot it in 65 millimeter film,
right?
And they released it in 70. And there is a theater here in Atlanta. I won't mention it. They're showing it in 70 millimeter.
I will, the
right?
Plaza.
And so,
That's a good thing. They shot it on film.
They shot it on film, and but other than that, don't waste your money.
Yeah,
that's my personal.
Another talk
opinion.
show I want to quickly mention. We forgot Morton Downey Jr. on WOR.
Well, we mentioned it, but yeah,
Did we,
right.
with that big mouth, the smoking, pablum puking, and then what was the other one? Richard Bay, and then the one you guys mentioned at lunch, the guy with the big nose,
Joe Franklin,
and WGN.
Oh yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, you know, we should.
Those are more local.
I should have pulled a clip of Joe Franklin because he was.
Joe Franklin was funny though.
Yeah,
he was so bad that he was funny. You know, he was a bad host.
Yeah, I just want to say the Plaza Theater needs to call out, but anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah,
that's my own personal opinion. Well, anyway,
oh, the kids.
The kids. So we're going to have to say bye-bye, guys, because we've gone a little over.
And you have to go to the Weather Channel for
I got to go work. So
we don't work. Chance and I don't.
Hey.
I'm
all right,
retired.
y'all be safe. Y'all be good to yourselves out there, okay?
Next time we're going to talk about guys.
I don't know.
Restaurants.
Oh, we talk. We'll
have to wait.
Or character actor. All right, we'll talk group meeting.
All right. Y'all be good. Take care. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.